What's up, y'all? It's your boy QEP, Nerds Rule the World. Dangerous Animals. Initial thoughts. I screened this at home because I have interviews with Jai Courtney, Hassie Harrison, Josh Heuston, as well as the director Sean Byrne. That'll be up on the channel. Look for it. Dropping June 6th, I believe. But my thoughts on this joint is it at its fire, man. It's a cool little horror serial killer joint. Jai Courtney was born to do this role. He's outstanding. I'm actually more afraid of his character in this than like Jaws. Like this film talks about like all these sharks and everything, but this Dangerous Animals, the animal is freaking Jai Courtney. He's scarier than the sharks. I'm gonna have a full review. This joint is fire. I enjoyed it. Hassie Harrison, everybody on the cast was brilliant. Check out those interviews, but stay tuned for the full review on Dangerous Animals. It's your boy QP, Nerds Rule the World.
Hello everyone, my name is Heather Hurt. That's QP. This is the NRW where Nerds Rule the World, and today I want to start out with something different. Let's do a breathing exercise to calm us down, to get us started. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Baby shark doo 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 doo. Baby shark doo 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 doo. Mommy shark doo 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 doo. Can you tell where we're going with this? Can you tell? We might be talking about sharks today. So let's start with the trailer for Dangerous Animals.
Oh my God, I can't believe I let you talk me into this.
It's gonna be a great experience.
Yeah.
All right. All right, crew. There's still one thing we need to take care of. I promise you it'll help. Now close your eyes. Take a big, deep inhale. And out. And in. And out. Welcome aboard. I see you, like, come alive on that board. It's spiritual. I feel the same about what I do. It's my true calling.
What is this? Where are we? We're on his boat. Whose boat? I don't think you want to know.
You're a fighter. I love fighters. Makes for a better show. Right, places, please. And action. Tell me that ain't the greatest show on earth. Every fisherman loves a good fight. The thing the fish doesn't realize is that once that hook sets, no matter how hard she runs.
Help! I need help.
She's already in the boat. Behind you! Now you and me, we fend for ourselves. We're sharks.
I'm nothing like you.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. This is your time to shine.
As you can see, Dangerous Animals arrived in theaters on June 6th, so we will be talking spoilers in this film. You can blame me, or in this film review, I'm sorry. You can blame me. I just haven't had a chance to watch it, and I kept giving excuses. QP gave this to me a while ago, and I decided to not watch it, even though I love sharks, and I love shark horror films with all my heart and soul. But since it's Shark Fest officially on National Geographic, and Shark Week is coming up soon on Discovery, it's about time we talk about Dangerous Animals. We are going to start. By the way, the reason I'm doing the baby shark is because QP got that stuck in, because I had to watch this. QP got that stuck in my head, and he has to now have it stuck in his head for the rest of the day too. He also did this before I got to drink coffee, so I'm really torturing him. With that being said, let's go right into the plot and the actors. The plot is a pretty simple one. You saw most of that in the trailer. A serial killer on the sea who uses sharks as his killing tool. He kidnaps a young couple right at the front, and I don't want to go too much into it. I always feel like I'm giving too much away. Kuya P is always one that gives more away than me, and I always feel like I have to pull in some Kuya P when I say this, and I can't always do it. With that being said, it's he kidnaps a young couple, and then he does is he brings someone else in to watch the film that he is making as he kills another person, and then the cycle continues. Another person comes on, then he kills another person. We that's when Zephyr, who is played by Hassie Harrison, comes in, and she is not your typical tourist. She's not your typical seafarer who wants to see sharks. She is a hardened young lady who has had a very difficult past and is not willing to just take it and run. After a night of meeting a young man Moses Markley, who is played by Josh Heuston, she has an opportunity. She finds a way out. She breaks the cycle that that Bruce Tucker, played by Jai Courtney, who Kuya P did have an interview with, I believe, right? You talked to Jay, right?
And both Hassie as well as Josh as well.
Perfect. So check out those interviews. They're up now. But they break the cycle that Tucker has so delicately put into balance. And we've seen that many times in film, is that one of the most important things about a serial killer is that they have their patterns. And if you watch documentaries, if you're a true crime buff, it's about the pattern. It's about that safety net. And when that safety net is broken, things shatter beneath your feet. And that's really what we see here, is we see that shattering of the final kill of the serial killer. And that's kind of the whole film. If you want to see it, we'll do it in the review, but we don't want to give, we will be talking spoilers once again because the movie is out. But we do want you to see this movie. So with that, I'm going to go right into, I've already talked about some of the cast. It was directed by Sean Byrne and written by Nick Leopard. Sorry. English is hard for me today. As I said, Zephyr, the main character, is played by Hassie Harrison. Jai Courtney plays Bruce Tucker. Josh Heuston plays Moses Markley. Ella Newton plays Heather. And Michael Goldman plays Cop, who are kind of the main cast. One of the really interesting things about this film is the delicacy of a small cast. But just remember, just because it's a small cast on screen does not mean that it is a large cast and crew in all. It usually takes a village to make a movie of this magnitude. So we really want to say that this movie was, we want to give credit to everyone because credit where credit is due. With all that said, with the word vomit that just came out of my mouth, let's hand this over to Kuya P. Kuya P, what were your initial thoughts of this film when you first saw the trailers?
I can't recall if we did the reaction together or
we did. You and I did. Yep.
As soon as I saw the trailer, I was all in. Jai Courtney, always been a big fan of his. Our Captain Boomerang from Suicide Squad, that I feel in the Suicide Squad movies really never got the most out of him. Because of, it's just such a big ensemble. Would have loved a Flash versus Captain Boomerang film. But Flash was already weak and terrible anyway, so we were never going to get a good Flash film. So that's something that DC needs to do later on, James Gunn. Give us a brand new Flash and give us a good Captain Boomerang. And all of Flash's arch villains. He has one of the best ensembles of villains in his universe. Anyway, but love Jai Courtney. Amazing there. Loved him in Terminator. So after seeing the trailer, was hype. The concept, to me, and I think Heather would agree, man is the most dangerous animal on this planet. We're destroying this world, but we won't get on that soapbox. But yeah, so the concept of sharks, Jai Courtney, who I love, and just the overall tone of what we saw from the trailer really got me hype. And I can't wait to talk now about the movie when we get to that point.
Yes. My sentiments almost exactly. I was so excited. I love a good shark film. We are also going to be talking about within this review set. We will also be talking about Jaws at 50. It's Shark Month, Shark Week is one of my favorite times of year. I love sharks with all my heart. They're my favorite animals. Other than cats and dogs and all the other animals. But with that being said, I love sharks, so I was really excited about a movie. And one thing that you and I talked about that Kuya P and I talked about in our trailer reaction was the mythos and the demonization of sharks. And so we both also went into this film cautiously because we don't want to see another Jaws reaction again. So the caution, I think, was an important thing. We wanted to make sure that sharks weren't misrepresented in a film that can very easily do that. It's humans that are the true danger. It is not sharks. So those were our initial reactions. Let's jump right into the review with the UW. Review, Kuyupi, what were your thoughts of this film?
Probably my favorite. I haven't put the list together, but it's up there in the top 5, maybe top 3 of horror films for the year for me. I absolutely love this film. The story, the cinematography, the acting, everybody involved with this. I thought it was entertaining as fuck. It was amazing. Sean Byrne, who, as you mentioned, Heather, I had the chance to speak with him, the director, as well as Hassie Harrison and Josh Heuston, and I also talked to Jai. All of them were wonderful, and just, yeah, I thought they killed it. I think Jai Courtney was born for this role of Tucker. He, you know, I talked about his dance scene in the underwear, if he had to have a pint or two before filming that, and he did have a little bit of a drink. Yeah, just I think he was menacing. He was everything that we've wanted to see him play on the screen, and he commanded that role. And with Hassie and Josh, they give you, a quick connection, which is what they needed to establish, and then for Josh to come back later. But Hassie, amazing. I fell in love with Hassie. Actually, I fell in love with this entire cast. I've always been a fan of Jai. That, as we said earlier, straight up, from the trailer. But then, talk to Sean. Sean's an amazing talent. I need to see more of his films. But Hassie and Josh, just were a delight to talk to. But can we just talk about how beautiful this cast is? Again, Jai is the manliest man, good-looking brother. But I fell in love. This was a sexy cast. They're just dope. And I'm in love with both of them. I want to be in the meat sandwich that is the two of them and Jai in there. We'll throw it all together. Yeah, they're just great. And I think Hassie is a tough customer. She's an independent woman. She was dealing with all her issues, which was kind of establishing why there wasn't a lot of trust there with Josh's character. But also Josh, there was something there, and it felt natural, it felt real. But I loved how Hassie, once she was abducted by, Tucker, how she fought back and just everything there and the moments. I just thought it was really well done. And the knowledge of sharks, and I'm sure you'll talk to that point, Heather, of the sea and everything. I just thought it was just really well done. And maybe I already used that word, or 2 words, but I just really was involved in the story. They went at each other, Jai and Hassie, all the way throughout the film till the very climactic end. And I was about to be very pissed off, and I don't want to spoil. Maybe we'll do a spoilers at the very end. That I was about to lose my shit, and this film was about to go from here to there. But we'll talk about that. But it submerged back up like in Jaws when the things came back up, and we knew that everything was okay. But I enjoyed this film. Top 3 of the year horror films. I just thought it was well done, really well done. How about you, Heather?
So there's an interesting point of perspective in all films, in all critique. When you see something fresh, when you see something new, when you see something at the very beginning, you always have a very differing point of when you sit and you watch something and you wait. Like a shark. But with that being said, the perspective that I have is going to be a little bit different than Kuya P's, because I literally watched it a month after the film came out. I got to hear my critic friends, including Kuya P, talk about how great this movie was. I was already anticipating this film, and then my anticipation amplified by the constant, by the large amounts of positive critique to this film. And do not get me wrong when I say this. My review is very good. I have a very good positive review, but I want to put to a point that in critique, perspective is really important. My perspective came from the fact that I was over anticipating something, and that anticipation was not hit. because so many people said so many good things. When you go into any movie, no matter what, always expect that the best part of the film is going to be the opening credits, that the trailer's at the beginning. Never expect a phenomenal film because you will always be disappointed. Always. So when I say that, when I saw this film, I was kind of underwhelmed. And that is entirely on me. Because I went in with so many expectations about all of the good things about this film. So the reason I'm saying this, the only reason I'm saying this, is when you watch this film, drop your expectations. Drop your expectations for every single movie you watch. Because I was underwhelmed in a good way. I loved the acting. I loved the plot. But it became very... As people, QUP and I watch a lot of horror films. Things were very on point. You could tell when someone was going to die. You could tell when someone wasn't going to die. You could tell who was going to die and who wasn't. You could tell who was put in a dangerous situation because someone decided to make a bad decision. You could tell those small things in this film because I began looking for the perspective. I began to look at it from a perspective of a critique versus as someone who is just watching a movie fresh, which is problematic. I think it's problematic on my part, not problematic towards the film. With that being said, my review is a little bit underwhelming. I really enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed the concept. I really liked that they kept to truth when it came to sharks. Once again, you could very easily drip into a dangerous place where you're vilifying animals. But they didn't do that. They made it very clear that these are animals. They actually even broke apart some myths about vision and about blood smells. And I really like that. One of my favorite scenes in this film was her just underwater looking at the shark. You see that at the end of the trailer. It's actually a beautiful scene. It's probably the best scene in the film for me. But with that being said, when I went into this film, my perspective was a poor one once again, all on my part. So what I'm really wanting to do is I want to rewatch this film in a different purview, which I think is, and I want to just be honest when it comes to this review. But that also gave me the opportunity to see things kind of in a different light. I think Hassie, one of the great things that I was able to see is everyone was talking about her performance. Everyone was talking about Jai's performance, which is over the top and phenomenal. Clearly well acted, terrifying at times. But I do want to talk about Hassie Harrison, who plays Zephyr. You can tell that she is going to be a great actress.
Hell yes.
But,
I cannot wait. Yeah.
Yes. But once again, thanks to perspective, I was able to see the small things in her stance. There were times where overacting was a major problem. There were times when underacting was a problem. So with that being said, I cannot wait. I do believe that of all of the people in this cast, Hassie was the weakest link. I'm not saying that she was a bad actress. I'm saying she was the weakest link. I do not think there were any bad actors at all in this film, at all. But what you can see in this role is that she will be a force to reckon with in Hollywood eventually. You can see that in this film. With that being said, this sounds really negative, I know, but I'm actually saying I want to make this clear that this is a positive review. I enjoyed this film. I want to see this with a different, I want to rewatch this because the way that I went in, it was very, I want to use the word clinical, I went in very methodically. I felt very cliche critic, and I don't want to feel that way because this is a movie that I think deserves more passion, more love. It has a great story, great plot. It was well written, and there was solid acting in it. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Okay.
Interesting take. Yeah, I'm curious to see after a rewatch. I rewatched it again. Actually, did I see it yesterday or a day or two ago? Just in prep for us to, review, because it's been about a month since I've seen it. What did you dislike the most about it? What if you have to pull a negative? Well, you said yours, and maybe I missed it. What would you say if you can like really put a pinpoint on it? Was it Hassie's acting that pulled you out? Was there any story element that pulled you out? What would you have to say? And be real.
Well, and that's the thing is, that's why I want to say this sounds really negative, but it's more because of how I went into it. Like I had this huge. Yeah. Well, no, it's just I don't want to make it sound like there was something that pulled me out of it. Like that's the thing. Because of how I went into it, I looked at it as, tell me the plots. Look at like very like cliche.
No, I got you on that. Yeah,
but it's
but with that being so, but you had that so with that knowledge in your head, what was the part of it that fulfilled that notion? Because you came in with that notion. What came from it that agreed with that notion that you had?
I'm going to compare this to, and I just thought about this. I'm going to compare this to the review that I gave to Jurassic World Rebirth, which was not a positive review. But we talked about how, and I mentioned this before, you and I have seen a lot of horror films. So we knew in Rebirth, you saw every single kill a mile away. You saw every single life point a mile away. You knew who was going to live. You knew who was going to die. And I think that was my biggest problem with this film. It's the moment anything was going to happen, even without the big theme songs, you could tell exactly who was going to survive and who was going to die in this film. You knew from the jump, like the very first moment, how the movie is going to end. There's no other option.
But that's all horror films to me.
But that's the thing. And what really sucked about how I watched it is it became like this very weird way of just watching a very traditional horror film. Like that's the thing is, to me, this is very classic 90s, like late 80s, early 90s horror, which I really enjoy. But I came at it at this weird perspective, and it just, once again, it's one of the big things I want y'all to take away from my review is I want to watch it again. I want to watch it again from a different perspective, because I came in very clinical. And so everything I saw was, oh, come on, you're really going to get that person killed. Oh, really? You're going to kill that person. Surprise, surprise. And unfortunately, I think that ruined the film for me. Yeah. But that's all on me. That's not once again, the plot, the writing, everything was good. And the only benefit of looking at it is I was able to see the small things that you couldn't see if you did not know all of the things that I had known, because I had spoken to you about the film. I spoke to Anthony about the film. I spoke to a couple, and I read a lot of reviews. The one and only thing that I can truly give a real critique to is the small little bits of, you can see the noviceness in some of Hassie's acting. I'm not saying all of it. There are just times where she broke the key. She went a little bit over, a little bit under. But other than that, it was great. Those small times.
I got you. I appreciate your recognition of your own energy, and that you recognize maybe tainted yourself. But even if that was your feeling, regardless, you're more than welcome to that. We all formulate our own opinions, and that's what we should do. And actually, that just makes me want to caution. I know it's what you do. You like to read everything, and me, I'm like to go in things blind and always formulate my own opinion, because just to say to the world, we're always influenced by so many different things. And it's crazy that's partially my job is we influence people because we give our respects, but at the same time, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I beg you to not read anything and just go in and find your own appeal and feel for something. Because just by your very own admission, that like you said, you read, you heard from me, and all of that will mess up a vibe going into something, because you've already, no matter how hard you try to deny it, you formalize an opinion, which will taint everything about what you're about to get into. That is the joy of going into something brand new and fresh and all that. So I just beg everybody to try and do that. But again, respect your opinion, and appreciate your own recognition of your own, vibe when you came and energy when you came into it. But yeah, I had an absolute blast. I thought they all did an amazing job. I think Hassie, Josh, Jai, brilliant, Sean, just everybody involved. I had a great time. And just like you said, this is like a classic 80s, 90s horror film. You know what's going to happen. Yes, because we've seen them all. Again, because we're fans of these franchises, we know what's going to happen. So that will taint you in there. But if you enjoy these films, I think personally, if you know and you're a fan of this genre, you obviously know what's going to happen. But it's all about the journey of that film to get you to those points. That makes it so exciting. And to me, I thought, while cliche and certain things that they've done in the past, this was a fun fucking ride, at least for me. And yeah, so in the top for my year, horror film wise. Yeah. So that would be my final verdict on this film. And I know for you, Heather, you want to see it again, and I hope you get a chance to watch it again.
Yeah. So once again, please, for those out there, please don't look at my review. I'm just saying this from that's why I wanted to clarify. This is like a very clinical critique. I want to watch it with fresh eyes because I need to. With that being said, if you ever want to, what I usually do is I use fellow critics to confirm my view, because I want to know what other people say. So usually I try to go in after I've seen something, and I was like, am I crazy? Did I see something weird? Or maybe did I like it too much? Like I like to compare and contrast. And that's really what we're here doing. It's, if you've seen a film, is what we're saying as critics, amplifying, making you feel like you saw the right thing. That's really what we're here for. But with that being said, I do not want this to be seen as a negative review. I actually really enjoyed it. The writing was very good. The writing's very good. Jai will scare the crap out of you as Tucker.
One of the best villains of the year, I would say, for me.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I will say the love story is a little forced, but that's just horror for you. But
came together quick.
Came together quick. They
put the thing on, but to me, I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you there. That's a very quick, but then, he got sprung off the first date and he didn't stop. That
does happen in real life. It does happen in real life. So,
that's why it was believable. Yeah.
But I did. With that being said, I didn't mention this. I agree. Their compatibility on screen was great. It was wonderful. I really liked them on screen together. Hassie and Jai, their relationship was wonderful. We didn't mention this at all, but Ella Newton, who played Heather, her playing like that damsel in distress, I think she really hit that mark.
Oh yeah,
really well. So
her scream right after that's in the trailer. Scream. Oh my gosh.
Great horror scream, and she does it more than once, which is like she has a phenomenal horror scream. So once again, please don't see this as a negative. I am actually so disappointed in how I went into this film. I want to see it again because I truly think it deserves to be watched with fresh eyes, because it is a good film. And once again, one of the things that I really enjoyed about it, the most important thing to me was the honesty with the sharks. You hear Tucker the entire time make small comments about the truth about sharks. And the number one thing is that they are animals doing what they do, and they will build sensitivities, and they will build things. One of the biggest things is they don't actually like eating humans. Humans are not in their diet. And I love that they talk about that. Some of the basic sciencey things that we see here is really touched me, and I love it. So a big one, the dog doesn't die. The dog does not die. Spoiler. I almost messaged Kuyapi. I almost messaged him.
About the dog?
And quit. No, did I? No, but no. Remember, if you ever have any questions or concerns about animal death in films, you can check out doesthedogdie.com. It is an open source system that tells you if animals die. Even though it says, does the dog die? It does talk about a plethora of other animals. So you will see information there. You do see the slaughtering of a poor fish. But other than that, the dog does not die. Do not worry. With that being said, I'm done. I'm done talking about it. Go watch Dangerous Animals. It is available in some cinemas, in some places. I think it's actually mostly Australia where, you know, this occurs. But it might be available in cinemas near you. If not, you can check it out on Fandango, Fandango Play, or Amazon Prime right now. I didn't see it on Apple, but I would be surprised if it's not on Apple too. So it's available on demand right now for you to check out. Watch Dangerous Animals, and we will see y'all soon.
Stay to the end of the credits. I want to talk spoilers.
He wants to talk about something. All right. Stay afterwards. We'll see you. We'll talk to you.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Yeah. Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Awesome. Kuya P, nerds rule the world. Hello. Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like nerds rule the world. Like I want more black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Nerds rule. Love
it. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julian.
Yes, nerds rule. Yes, nerds.
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
absolutely.
And you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
We're just the best.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
So much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
It's your boy Kuya P. Nerds rule the world. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
They rule the world, all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys. All right, Heather just finished up. You're at the end of the credits. I want to just talk spoiler-ish stuff real quick. First off, man, again, I love this film, but the ending, again, immaculate film, but I'm sad about the ending because I would have loved for Tucker to still be alive because I have so many, the storyline of the serial killer, Heather. We see these videotapes, the hair, the souvenirs, so menacing. Like, I want to know the journey of all of this collection. And like, to just have him, like, after this experience, maybe it would have been cool to have him go to another island, to have traveled maybe to Hawaii, travel to the States. Like, I just think there's so many rich stories that could be told of this on the sea serial killer that I think I said way back when we first did that trailer reaction. Just this whole concept of a serial killer on the seas was insane. So that's not really a spoiler, but because he dies at the end, and rather gruesomely and deservingly so. Obviously, after this course of the film, it was a great ending. But damn it, so many rich stories as a creative came out of my head. So just wanted to talk on that. I wish they could have done more. Maybe somebody else could have been inspired. Maybe he's one of other, like a whole family. Like this is a bloodline thing. Shout out to the bloodline wrestling fans. I just love the richness of the source, because who else is also getting these films? Was he just making these films for himself? Did he sell it to other people? I don't know. There's a spin-off. You can come there. Just was sad about that. But again, really well done in this movie. The concept of the serial killer that they created in Tucker. But as I kind of mentioned earlier, Hassie, at the climactic ending, beats off Tucker. Tucker dies, but then her leg gets caught up in the hook that she kills Tucker with. Tucker gets eaten, but the thing is still attached to him, so she gets pulled into the water, and I was about to cry, Heather. I'm like, no, don't kill her. My boy Josh is all tied up. He's about to die because he took stab wounds. He's chained up to the chair. And now Hassie's in the water. What the fuck? I was like, are we going to end it like this? Because, cinema now, we'll take those risks. Back in the day, they'll let him survive. Thankfully, we still have that kind of a notion. She survived. And I was happy. But I was thinking, because, it's a new time in cinema. We don't mind as creatives to kill the people off now. And so I was just about to cry. But yeah, so she survives. So spoilers if you haven't seen the film yet.
No shit.
Yeah.
last girl survives. The final girl survives.
The final girl survives. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I thought it was great. Just as a creative, though, it really inspired me with the notions of what Tucker was doing and all of that. That's quick spoilers, but yeah, I enjoyed this movie. Heather obviously feels another way. She'll see it again, and she'll maybe change her thoughts. If not, it's all good. Respect to you, Heather. Go with your truth. And but those are my quick spoilery-ific stuff on Dangerous Animals.
I will say that unfortunately that was something that I saw right at the beginning. The only way that this movie was going to end was him dying, specifically by shark. But what I will say about that, one of the great moments of this film is that ode to Jaws that they did there at the end. That was a wonderful homage to one of the greatest shark movies of all time. So to the greatest shark movie of all time. So I actually really loved that moment. To be fair, once again, as I said in the actual review, you saw the ending before the movie began.
Yeah, we all know he's
that was the only way he was going to. But at the same time, one of the things that you and I have talked about in the past, and I'm just going to say this one last thing real quick. The franchisation of everything. I like that this is an 1.5-hour film and it ends. Could there be a prequel? Absolutely. Could they expand this universe? Totally. Did I almost yell at Kuya P for making me watch someone gnaw off their own thumb? Absolutely. But when he knows that I don't do fingers and toes, by the way. But
I forgot. I honestly forgot that she did. Yeah.
But with that being said, one thing that I really like about movies like this is there is a chance that it doesn't come back. It is a great film that tells its story, that says what it needs to, and it's done. We don't see them again. Like, I love those types of movies because I don't feel like they have to do better. We saw a great movie in this film, and that's it. That's all we need. So to Kuya P's point, like, I totally respect that, especially from a creative angle. But I actually love that they finalized it. It's done. These two have had their day. Now they can live off happily ever after. Like, I'm totally cool with that. So
I had half written in my head through the course of the movie. Obviously, he's going to get attacked by the sharks. Mm-hmm. He's going to get hit by the sharks. But he survived the shark attack before.
He did.
He has the marks. So, like, if anything, he'll lose a limb or two just so we could get another part 2, because I just love this whole concept of this killer. That would have been great. But no, he got full body swallowed, Heather. So there's no coming back, which is a great in it, well-deserved ending. But that's kind of like what I would have liked to have happened just so I could live in this universe a little bit more. Like, take a limb or two, and then we can come back, But
to be fair, we only saw him get chomped, and then he did pop up over water.
That brother's dead. He's dead. All right. Those are my thoughts. Those are the spoilers. Go check it out. Am I wrong? Is Heather right? Whatever. It's all good. Again, like I said, during the course of the review, formulate your own opinion. There's too many of us that are influenced by outside sources. Just go in fresh and enjoy yourself.